I would now like to invite Professor Ariel Porat to deliver his address. Ariel.
Good morning. It's wonderful to see you all. Thank you for being here with us today. A week ago, we were not sure whether all of you would be here because of the tension in the borders. And we were lucky that a ceasefire took place. Of course, it's because of us, right? Of course, we are the cause for the Tel Aviv University have made it, but still we are very happy with that. But you know, now speaking seriously about it more, so it's, you know, there is these external threats that Israel faces from time to time. But we are very used to these kind of threats, very experienced with dealing with such threats. But we are less experienced with internal threats. And that's what Israel is undergoing these days. You know, generally, university leaders should be apolitical. They should keep being neutral. And I respect this principle. But as to any other principle, there are exceptions. One exception, which is obvious, that when there is an issue about academic freedom, about your own institution, of course, university leaders are expected to speak out to defend their institution and to defend academic freedom. The second exception is about human rights, human dignity, and civil rights. Here too, university leaders, and in my view, all leaders, should speak out and not keep silent. And the last and the third exception, which is the most relevant for today, is about risk to the democratic foundation of your country. This is another situation, a very important exception to the neutrality principle. So in such kind of cases, the principle of neutrality should withdraw in face of values that should not be compromised. And that's exactly what I've tried to do, and many other people here at the university. Tel Aviv University, I'm proud to say, was the most active, you know, in terms of faculty being engaged in the legal reform which the government leads. And they were activists, indeed, mostly against the reform. There were some, and that's of course okay, were activists for the reform. But I'm very proud to say that we played a very important role in the academic arena and also in the national arena. That's the way in which I think liberal institutions should behave in such times. So in my relatively short speech, I'm going to talk about 4 topics or 4 types of activities that took place in the last year at the university. The first one is about the international aspect of the university. The second one is about multidisciplinarity. The third one is about relationship with the industry, with the hospitals affiliated to us, and with entrepreneurship. And the fourth and last one, last but not the least, is the social relevance and the responsiveness to students. So these are the 4 topics I'm going to discuss with you today. Now, there is something in common of all the activities I'm going to talk about. And this is the fact that Tel Aviv University is not led, or not only led, by current trends, either in research or education, but Tel Aviv University creates trends and leads trends. And this is something we should be very proud about. Now before that, let me say a few words about donations, and then we'll start talking about the 4 topics I've mentioned. So the last year was the best year ever in the history of the university in terms of fundraising. There was an increase of 10% comparing to other years, and I am quite optimistic also about the current year. So it seems that the current year would be as good, at least as good, as the previous year. So this is something, of course, we should be very happy about, because as you know, you cannot develop a university, any university in Israel and most universities abroad, without fundraising. That's a very important component in our budget. And of course, you all should be thanked for that. Now, you know, usually we used to talk about mega donations, about very large donations, and of course this is very important because that's what could make a kind of a game changer in many fields. And there were such major donations in the last year, and you will see in a minute, including a donation which is one of the largest ever received by Tel Aviv University by the Azrieli family. It's $50 million for the School of Architecture. But the reason I mention it is just to say, and that's echoing what Daphne said, don't make a mistake. Sometimes relatively small donations, what does it mean small? It's not so small, like $10,000. For me, $10,000, it's a lot of money, right? But $10,000 could really change people's life. Think about $10,000, as Daphne have mentioned, right? As a scholarship for a needy students, it changes life. And sometimes the $10,000, I would say, could be even more important than the $1 million. So don't misunderstand me. The $1 million, we really have, you know, we know what to do also with the 1 million, with 10 million, and even with 100 million. But it's very important for me to emphasize this point. What is called like small donation, these are not small, these are extremely important. So let's see now in a short clip the donations above $1 million that have been received by Tel Aviv University in the last year.
New projects since Board of Governors 2022. Projects $1 million and above. The Human Embrace, Khan Program for Israeli Arab Inclusion in the Humanities. Collar Terrace. Institute for Integrative Psychedelics Research, founded by Jeremy Collar, David B. Katzen, MD, PhD, and Dr. Dimitri Repin. Renovation of Dan David Building. Erwin Kotler Institute and Eileen and Louis Dubrovsky Research Fund for Solid Cancers, Rick Dubrovsky. Eugenia Gelman Estate for Medical Studies. Diane and Guilford Glazer Foundation, Faculty Excellence Initiative. Integrated Research Program, Google, Ireland. Coombe International Friendship Scholarship Fund. Peter Krause, MD, Nanomedicine Floor. Jack, Joseph, and Morton Mandel, Center for Public Humanities. Renewed support for Edmund J. Safra Center for Ethics. Endowed American Studies Program, Anonymous. Financial aid and advanced degree scholarships, Anonymous. Expansion of Miriam and Moshe Schuster Building for the Center of Traumatic Stress and Resilience. Projects $10 million and above. Expansion of David Azrieli School of Architecture Building Project. Colton Center for Autoimmunity. Dan Launchpad. Lowy International School, dedicated to the memory of Shirley Lowy. Endowment Fund for Steve Tisch School of Film and Television. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, so let me start with the international aspect of the university. So the first thing, the very important development that took place last year was a major gift by our friend Frank Lowy for the international school at Tel Aviv University. And the school was named after the Lowy family in memory of the late Shirley Lowy. So you know there are a lot of activities going on here with other universities. There are many students, international students visiting here every year. There are many visiting professors coming to Tel Aviv University, a lot of exchange programs. So first of all, there is now a boost to those kind of activities. What we have already done, even though we got the donation recently, what we have already done is to increase the number of visiting professors, in particular visiting professors coming for a long period of time. You know, usually most of the visiting professors coming for a few weeks, and this time we have brought 10 professors from top universities in the world to stay in Israel up to half year. So this is one new activity that we launched just recently. The second thing that we have done, we declared a competition among the schools of the university competition around the international development of their schools. So we chose 12 out of 30 schools. So 12 schools have been selected, and they got funds to develop their international aspects. Let me give you just a couple of examples, or 2 or 3 examples of what several schools has done with those funds. So one thing is, we have the Blavatnik School of Exact Sciences. You know, Blavatnik is a major donor of the university. Last year, he gave a huge donation to support many activities at the university. And this is another opportunity to thank him. Avi Fisher is a partner and by himself a donor of the university, is here with us today. And so the Blavatnik School of Computer Science initiated a collaboration with Carnegie Mellon, which is as you know, it's a top university, top school, and it's a program about summer school, so 1 year summer school for students, MA and PhD students in computer science in Carnegie Mellon, and 1 year at Tel Aviv University. Another interesting international activity has been initiated by the School of Economics. Here it's with London School of Economics, creating a strategic partnership between the 2 departments. Another very interesting collaboration, which is now kind of a work in progress, is with Johns Hopkins. You know, Johns Hopkins University has probably the best medical school, competing with Harvard, probably the best medical school in the world, and they collaborate with us, with the Faculty of Medicine and with artificial intelligence. They put aside $5 million for the next 5 years, and now we are trying to do a matching for the $5 million. I hope and believe that we would be able to do so. That would be very meaningful for us. So these are several activities that have been initiated and are like really new, due, like a kind of an immediate result of the new donation by Frank Lowy. Another collaboration which we are very proud of is with Columbia University. Columbia University became a real strategic partner of the university. I don't need to tell you what a top university Columbia is. Another strategic partner in US is Northwestern University, another top university. So with Columbia, if you remember, a couple of years ago, we launched a undergraduate program on liberal arts with a major in liberal arts and 2 minors, one in life science and another one in entrepreneurship. And that is a very successful program. These days, we deepen the collaboration with this fantastic university. We have now collaboration on research collaboration on neuroscience. And we are working on having a collaborative BA, MA program of the of the Faculty of Engineering of Tel Aviv University together with the Faculty of Engineering at Columbia University. So as I say, the relationship with this top university becoming deeper and deeper, and we are very happy with that. They just opened the center of the university here in Tel Aviv, and that gives us like the future relationship would be even more fruitful, I'm sure. I would like also to mention a couple of other activities from the international activities that have taken place. So one thing is that we established an international MA degree in climate change. And a second international program that we launched recently and seems to be very successful is a BA in management and liberal arts. So this is an international program, and we can see even now these days that there is a lot of demand by international students to enroll to it. So this is kind of in a nutshell some developments at the from the international aspect of the university. Let me talk now about the second area, which is multidisciplinarity. Just to remind you, from the time I entered the office, 5 multidisciplinary centers has been established. One is AI and data science. It's a multidisciplinary center, very important for us. Another one is on aging and healthy longevity. A third one is on combating pandemics. A fourth one is on climate change. And the fifth one is on quantum sciences and technology. Now, there are some new activities in this multidisciplinary area. So one thing is the Colton, the new Colton Center that we have established about half a year ago. It started exactly a year ago after the State of the University meeting. I had a meeting with the Coltons, with Judy and Stuart, and that was the beginning of a wonderful center that we established. This center is on autoimmune diseases. You know, there are more than 100 autoimmune diseases. About 5% of the population suffer from such diseases. Unfortunately, there are, at the moment, almost all of them are incurable. At the same time, you could mitigate the symptoms, but still there is a lot to be done in this area. The Colton family established, before coming to us, established 3 centers in top universities in the United States on autoimmune diseases at Yale, Pennsylvania, and New York. And we are very proud for their vote of confidence in Tel Aviv University. And the new center is a multidisciplinary one. Actually, there are 4 faculties which are involved, right? The Faculty of Engineering, the Faculty of Exact Sciences, the Faculty of Life Sciences, and the Faculty of Medicine. There is a lot of collaboration with hospitals. And as I've said, there is also the international aspect to it. So this is another benefit for us, that we have the opportunity to work with top universities such as Penn, Yale, and NYU. So this is one important activity. There would be an inauguration of the Colton Center. You are all welcome to attend. Another multidisciplinary activity that have been initiated last year was at the Faculty of Law, under the Faculty of Law, and this is Shamgar Center. Shamgar, to those of you who don't know, he is the late Chief Justice of the Israel Supreme Court, and the center is about law, technology, and AI. AI and law is a very promising area. You know, personally, I believe that in 10 years, we will need much less judges than we currently have, and that wouldn't necessarily be bad. But think just about you know, the ChatGPT that I believe that many of you have heard about. This is kind of the new development in AI a few months ago. Think just about the revolution in law when the ChatGPT would be able to draft court decisions instead of human judges. You know, the machinery of justice is notorious for slowness, right? It takes a lot of time until you get your day in court, and it takes years until there is a court decision. Think about the Netanyahu case, right? Like people expect it to take place like 5 years of a trial. Now, if everything can be done by machine, namely that all court decisions would be drafted by ChatGPT and many other tasks would be done by AI, it would be a revolution in law that we have never witnessed before. And this is just an example. So this is another multidisciplinary activity that was initiated. I want to say a few words about multidisciplinarity and the liberal arts, or the Faculty of Humanities. You know, one of the strategic goals of the university is to advance the humanities. There is, as you know, a global crisis around humanities, less and less enrollment of students, and unfortunately, Israel and Tel Aviv University cannot escape also from the results of this crisis, but as opposed to others, we do our best to mitigate it and even to overcome it and to make it even better. So we've done many things. I won't go to each and every activities that we have done in this area. Let me just mention that we initiated about a year ago with the support of the Mandel Foundation, a program when we incorporate in STEM studies core courses of liberal arts. We believe not only that it's important for enriching people that they would be exposed to humanistic thoughts, we know, and there is solid evidence that supporting our view, that would be also very instrumental to people even in scientific occupations, or actually any occupation that students might have in the future. It would be instrumental for them and would improve their performances just because they were exposed to humanistic thoughts. Another development which I want to mention, that just a week ago, I was informed that the Mandel Foundation decided to support another initiative of Tel Aviv University of the Faculty of Humanities. I don't know if Gali is here, Gali Cinnamon, the Dean of the Faculty of Humanities. No, she's not here. Okay, she's a major partner in these developments. So the Mandel Foundation approved the support in what we call public humanities. Generally, public humanities is about exporting humanities from the university to the public. And it's really a very interesting area. There are only few universities abroad, including Yale, that has public humanities in their curriculum. And definitely we are the first in Israel and among the first in the world. It's, I really believe in the future of this program, that it would make a change not only at the university but in Israel, and hopefully would go even beyond Israel. I also want to mention one important development that took place recently, which is the Porat Jewish Civilization Center that has been established a year ago. Actually, there was an inauguration last year. Anita Friedman, our dear friend, she is the one, without her, many things here couldn't have happened, including this one. So thank you. This is an opportunity. Thank you, Anita. So this very important center focuses on contemporary Jewish thoughts. It's with collaboration with ANU, what was known as the Diaspora Museum, but now the name is ANU. And it's under the School of Jewish Studies and Archaeology at the Faculty of Humanities. So this is another very important contribution to humanities. And this is always, you know, contemporary Jewish thought is also a very relevant topic, but now it's even more relevant than ever. So it's, among other things, it's also about the relationship between the State of Israel and Jewish communities all over the world. Here again, we have crises, and I believe that this center have already started to work in a very promising way, would take part in improving things also in this area. Last thing about multidisciplinarity, which is more, so far I describe activities that have already taken place. I want to say something about wishful thinking. So there is an area which on the one hand we are very strong about, but at the same time there is some weakness that I want to expose or to disclose here. And this is environment, sustainability, and climate change. You know, we have the Porter School we are very proud of. We have the Steinert Museum of Natural History. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with this museum. First of all, I recommend you to visit it. It's a wonderful museum. But more importantly, it has been promoted to be an academic unit in the last year. And it's a huge infrastructure for research in zoology, and also in plant sciences. You won't believe me if I tell you that the number of items that they have there, items that are part of the infrastructure of the museum, more than 5 million items in a museum just next door. And so this is a huge strength of the university. It's one of the best, in my view, the most interesting museums in Israel in general. And in this specific area, definitely number one in the Middle East, but I believe it's one of the best in the world. So this is another strength, speaking about the environment. We have also a wonderful faculty working at the Faculty of Life Sciences under the School of Zoology and the School of Plant Sciences and Food Security. We have the Yehuda Naftali Botanic Gardens, and we have the Zoological Gardens and the Faculty of Social Sciences. There are also, in the Faculty of Law, there are also people working on the environment. But as you can see, even though there are a lot of centers of excellence at the university, it is dispersed. And in order to really be strong and to have a real impact on research, on teaching, and also on community, we want to unite them all and to establish a school, an independent school, under the leadership of the university. And that's something that for which we really need resources. So in terms of fundraising, this is the top of top priorities of the university, to have resources to be able to make this very important move. Okay, now we'll see a short video of Professor Yoni Bellmaker to show you something about the work done with the museum and on the environment, in particular, how climate change affects fish. Please.
My name is Yoni Bellmaker, and we're sitting here at the Steinert Museum of Natural History at Tel Aviv University. Climate change is having a huge impact on the area of the Mediterranean, which is one of the warmest in the world and one of the fastest warming also into the future. And the main effects of climate change on fish are the change in distribution. They're moving away from our area, they're decreasing in abundance, and also going to deeper waters where we can see them much less. The things are happening here faster than any other place on Earth. So the number of invasive species coming in from the Red Sea, the impact of climate change, the impact of fishing are very, very strong over here. So anything we learn here will allow us to understand more about other places in the world. With more and more using advanced analytic methods such as AI to analyze the data, and there's a vast amount of data out there. Data from researchers such as myself that will go out and take videos and other information from the field. And that data is now analyzed using AI methods that allow much deeper understanding of patterns and processes in the marine environment. The next step will be to try and implement mitigation methods to decide what the best route is to actually stop these effects from happening. For example, establishing more marine protected areas that might stop the effect of climate change or the effect of invasive species in our waters. What I really love about TAU, the student body, I have a young, vibrant, curious, that's a pleasure to work with, and they're really curious about science and environmental science. In addition, we're sitting here at the Steinert Museum of Natural History. It's a really huge resource for Tel Aviv University, for Israel, and for the globe focused on marine science.
Thank you. So far I have talked about the international aspect of the university. I've talked about multidisciplinarity. Let me now turn to the third topic, which is entrepreneurship and relationship with the industry and the hospitals affiliated to us. And I want to start with entrepreneurship. You know, entrepreneurship, it's one of the strongest fields in Israel in academia. But at Tel Aviv University, it's especially strong. And of course, I'm the president of the university, so why should you believe me when I say something good about my own university? So here is the proof. Well, remember, I'm a law professor, so I'm about evidence, right? Solid evidence. So there are three rankings that are very common in ranking universities according to entrepreneurship, according to the success of their students, of their alumni, in raising funds and being entrepreneurs. Tel Aviv University, in all those rankings, all three rankings, are ranked top 10 in the world, number one in all rankings, number one outside of the United States. Other universities, some other universities in Israel, like Weizmann, the Hebrew, are also very good in entrepreneurship, but none of them is as Tel Aviv University, at least according to those rankings. So in one of those rankings, we are number 5. And in another one, with PitchBook, which is very common, we are 6, 7. Now, if you're 6, 7, you want to be number 1, right? You know, because this is part of the issue, right? You want to be top in the world in those areas in which you excel. And we are very lucky to receive a very important gift, very generous gift of Dan Holtzman. With that gift, we are going to have, that's what we call a Launchpad, Dan Launchpad, would be run by Moshe Tzviran. And what we are going to do with this new initiative is we are going to have startups coming out from the university, from students, including undergraduate students, and not only students in engineering or in computer science, but also in humanities, in social sciences. Remember, startups, usually when we think about startups, we think about technology, but startups could also and are also important for other, for social reasons. And so that's what we are going to do with this very generous donation, to have startups coming from the university, from students, from faculty, and from alumni. So this is also an opportunity to thank you, Dan, for your generosity. It's a very important gift. Let me now say a few words about relationship with, with the industry. We have a lot of relationship. I won't go into it. Just a week ago, we got a new donation from Google of $1 million for more collaboration with Google, and this is fantastic. We have already done it in the past, so we work together, we're wonderful with them. But I want to emphasize now the relationship with hospitals. We have 17 hospitals affiliated to us, and we try to make better use of the relationship with hospitals, not only for students doing their clinical years there, but also to do more research. So we are now in a process that I myself take, like I lead it personally in a way, and this is establishing university centers inside hospitals. So we have already done it with Sourasky, Ichilov, right? Sourasky Medical Center. We have established a few years ago a center on gene therapy, Dotan Gene Therapy Center. We have another one we are going to establish, I believe, in a month, same place, the Sourasky Medical Center, Ichilov, and that would be on digital medicine. Just to illustrate, what does it mean, digital medicine? So with digital medicine, meaning that you bring the AI and data science people, give them the medical data, and they could do a lot with the data. So for example, thinking about predicting development of diseases much earlier than what we can predict now. Or once someone has a disease, to make precision medicine even more precise. That's something you can do with medical data. And so we are very happy with this center to be established, as I say, I believe in a month or so. We also have other collaborations with the hospitals. One that I've already mentioned is the Colton Center that collaborates with Sheba and with the Clalit, the biggest HMO in Israel and one of the biggest in the world. And there is, Daphne mentioned the Sagol family, so there is the regenerative center of the Sagol family that also collaborates with Sheba and with other hospitals. So there is a lot going on between the university and the hospitals. Let's see now a clip of one of those centers at Sourasky, at Sourasky Medical Center, the work of Adi Barzel. He's a professor for the Faculty of Life Science. You will see it's really very interesting. This is the laboratory on gene therapy, the Center on Gene Therapy. Please.
I'm Adi Barzel of Tel Aviv University. I'm a professor of biochemistry, and I'm also heading the Dotan Center, which is a joint center of Tel Aviv University and the Ichilov Medical Center. My research focus is gene therapy, genome editing, and immunotherapy. In short, we are engineering the cells of our immune system so that they can better combat cancer, infections, and autoimmune diseases. For example, in order to better fight HIV, we envisioned a one-time treatment. Only through the cooperation of Ichilov and Tel Aviv University, we can connect the scientific ideas with the patients, with the physicians, with the clinical samples. This very much facilitates our research and allows us to go from the bench to the bedside much faster.
My lab develops and applies genetic engineering tools in order to discover genes that will help us augment the function of human T cells.
We already developed a T-cell therapy that started way back in 2013 in basic research and today is manufactured in clean rooms in order to treat cancer patients.
I'm super grateful for this wonderful collaboration with Dr. Anat Globerson-Levin and Dr. Arik Shifrut, and I think together this is a fantastic synergy that allows us to take our ideas and bring them to the patients.
So my last topic for today is about social awareness or social relevance and responsiveness to students. So about 2 years ago, we established a new commission at the university led by Professor Neta Ziv And this commission is responsible for advancing equity, diversity. Later we expanded it also to community more generally. Netta, a year ago, was promoted to be vice president because this is such an important area and there should be vice president for those issues. And Netta has done quite a lot during a relatively short tenure. And let me mention just a couple of examples, things that have been done here in this so important area. So one example is what we call a gap year program. And the idea is that actually this is done partly also with the aid of the Kohn family and also Yad Nadiv. So generally the idea is to outreach high school students in Arab villages and towns and to expose the university to them, to show them how attractive and helpful the university could be for them. And once they are at the university, to have mentorship programs in order to reduce the dropout rate, but more importantly, to give them the opportunity not just to complete their studies, but to excel in their studies. And also to prepare them, to those of them who want to do so, to prepare them for advanced studies, to master and later to PhD. So this is something we have started recently, and as I said, the Kohn family and Yad Nadiv are involved in this very important initiative, and it is led by Netta, also the humanities by the Dean, Gali, and of course everything with working also with Drurit Neumann, our great Dean of Students. Another initiative that I would mention is also in this area is, speaking about Arab students, it's not about only Arab students. There is also, unfortunately, a huge shortage at Tel Aviv University and all other universities in Arab professors at universities. So we have the Neubauer initiative, which encourages the faculties to recruit Arab professors. There is an impressive increase in numbers and, of course, quality. So we are benefited from having great professors, not generally, but also in Arab professors in particular. But it's not, of course, just about Arab minorities. There are other minorities that are under the, that Netta is taking care of. It's women, and it is Ethiopian students and ultra-Orthodox students and students like first generation to higher education and many more. Lastly, by the way, what Netta is doing is generally she coordinate among all kind of activities taking place at the university and also initiate others. So she's not the only one responsible for those activities. As I mentioned, there is the Dean of Students and some other entities. Last thing is what we call responsiveness to students. Now, this is one of the most important topics. Even though I'm going to say just a few words about it, it's one of the main efforts that we are doing now at the university. It is led by the Provost, Mark Steif, together with our Director General, Gadi Frank. And this is, in a way, reinventing teaching and education at the university. Not because we are not good. Actually, this is a kind of a global issue. The generation is not studying today is not the same as when I studied, and we should reinvent ourselves in different ways. It means making changes in curriculum. It means bringing new technology and bringing new methods of teaching, and we are on that very intensively. There is a special dean, the Dean of Innovative Learning and Teaching, Professor Liat Kishon Rabin, if she's here. So she is responsible for that, and she works with the, works with the provost, and there is a lot to be done, and a lot of is going on around that. Let me now show you the last clip for today, and this is about virtual reality lab for research and teaching, and you'll see Tom Schoenberg, Professor Tom Schoenberg, once again from Abed. You are lucky today. A lot of people from your faculty, from the Faculty of Life Science. Only 3, right? Okay. Next time we'll try to have more. And Naama Sheftlovich, she's the head of the Central Library. You will enjoy it. Please see the clip. Now let me conclude. So as I've said at the beginning, Tel Aviv University is very proud of being a leader and creating new trends, not only led by trends, but creating them and leading them. I think you can see in many of the activities that I have described to you that this is exactly what's going on. You know, this is the 75th anniversary of the State of Israel. There are many good things in Israel. Not everything is good, but many good things in Israel. And I think that those good things are reflected in Tel Aviv University. I want to believe that we contributed also to some of those good things in the State of Israel. I want to really conclude by thanking just a few people that I cannot avoid thanking them, before I thank you, of course. I'm talking about those people working with me on a daily basis. So first of all, the provost, Mark Steif, he's the closest partner of me, together with Gadi Frank, the Director General. We were blessed by one of the best directors in the country. Gadi is really wonderful. Nothing would move at the university without Gadi. I have wonderful 4 vice presidents. Amos does not need introduction. Many of you know Amos better than you know me. He's my right hand in fundraising and resource development. There is Milet Shamir, Professor Milet Shamir, my vice president for international collaborations. She runs so successfully and with huge talents the international aspect of the university. There is Danny Pe'er, the vice president for research. He's the one responsible for the infrastructure of the university and is a major partner in recruitments and other things, other stuff going on at the university. And of course, the 4th one, I've already talked about her, Professor Neta Ziv. In addition, of course, there is the vice provost. I'm not sure, Eyal, are you here? Okay, so the vice provost, another very important figure dealing with students and do excellent job. There are other people working, David Mendelovich, responsible for relationship with the industry. and of course Moshe Tzviran, that is responsible for entrepreneurship at the university. He runs the Bloomberg Sagol program and now going to run the new Dan Launchpad at Tel Aviv University. So another important figure. Of course, and of course the deans. The deans are the most important people here. You know, nothing can be done without a good dean, and we are blessed with many good deans, both men and women. You know, I'm very proud to say that the three largest faculty here are led by women, the Faculty of Medicine, the Faculty of Exact Science, and the Faculty of Humanities. The three together are more than half of the campus. They are led by excellent leaders, and so the deans are such an important component. Now, then I also want to thank Daphna. She's a wonderful partner. Your loyalty, talents, and devoutness to the university is unbelievable. And I'm really very grateful to you, Daphna, for what you have done, and I'm looking forward to much work in the future. And Eli Gelman, my friend, thank you for the good things you have said about me. I hope that at least you believe in what you have said. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Eli is a wonderful partner. We are lucky to have a head of the board of the executive board, which is so helpful in giving advices and being involved in so many things, and always with goodwill, never with, even there is a criticism, it's always in a good manner, and I really, this is the best thing you can get, such a head of executive board. Finally, I want to thank Iris London. Where are you, Iris? She's my chief of staff. And Ronnie Goldstein, still here? Yeah, Ronnie Goldstein, that served as my chief of staff until a few months ago. Now she was promoted to become the CEO of our Sylvan Adams Sports Center, very important job. So really Iris and Ronnie and now Iris, these are the people who are really my right hands, very hard to do anything without them. I also want to thank very deeply to Nomi Yona and Yael Sarfati working at my office, and again, without them, nothing would be possible. I hope I haven't forgot anybody, and so thank you very much. We have, I think, now a few minutes for questions.